Hey y'all, it's Wild Riley and I'm back with another little video about, this time, about my antler pipe. So, went out into the mountains with my buddy, Nick, and we found ourselves a couple deer antler racks. He actually outdid me. I found an antler and he saw that and he's like, "What? I'm gonna go find one." And then like 2 minutes later he found an even better antler. Oh man, makes me smile. But this is from the one I found. And it was pretty old, worn out antler. Wasn't really good for display. So I decided to cut it up and make a pipe. And then this is from elderberry canes that are growing on my in my backyard. And it's kind of hard to find a nice, long, straight, hollow elderberry cane, at least in my yard. There's a lot of good ones, but they're a lot shorter. So I only got like maybe 3 or 4 of these like long ones, and I even had to cut them down a little bit. But then I sanded it all down and stained it. And then, let's see, used pine pitch glue. So it's pine pitch, charcoal, and oftentimes some kind of fibrous material, whether it's like deer dung or in this case it would be like stinging nettle fibers that got burnt. So and it created a pretty good seal and holds this little stick on pretty good. And then just push an old cigar down to the bottom as a filter, and then been kind of puffing on it. So that's the deer antler peace pipe, kind of bush pipe. And then what I'm puffing through it right now is this Kinnikinnick. So this particular blend is a very simple blend. It's comprised of mullein and mugwort. So the mullein is these big, fuzzy, fluffy leaves, and it grows like a big stalk, almost like just like a tobacco plant. But it doesn't have sunflowers on it, like little daisy-looking flowers. It has like a stalk of yellow flowers that whirl around and go all the way to the top of the stalk. Another name for it's Indian toilet paper. But it's a really good smoking plant, and it's really abundant in my yard. My dad and I collected some seeds way back when, and it just grows voluntarily now. And so sandwiched in the mullein is mugwort, mugworthy. Also added to a wort of beer in the previous age. And now I make a little blend out of it. So, and then a little bit of pipe tobacco. Not too much, not enough to choke me up. Just enough to kind of embrace the ceremony of it. So, a little bit of spiritual plants here. Some healing plants. Mullein is good for kind of opening up your respiratory. It's a very important healer to know. The mugwort. It's an Artemisia, so like Artemises the wizard would use this. And what I find mugwort useful for is opening up your conscious mind while you're dreaming. So in these times of late, it's nice to have an open mind in your dream state when the rules of physics and the laws of gravity don't apply. All the constructs of society don't apply, and you can kind of traverse life in your dream state. You can use it to design plans, you can use it to work through issues in life, and at this stage in my life I'm finding that mugwort could be a very useful ally. So I did use some of this last night, about an hour before bed, and all night I dreamed about marrying my wife again from the beginning. So just like a whole brand new wedding for the first time. So interesting. We were planning it. We were hanging up all the signs and banners, and it was kind of an interesting dream. So, kind of give it a little. It smokes a little better when you pack it in there pretty tight. And a pipe this size is good for this type of smoke. If you're going to smoke other magical herbs, you probably use a much smaller pipe. I guess it depends on how much of a glutton you are for punishment. But kind of pack it in there a little bit. Give it a little puff. The idea is just to kind of keep that ember alive in there. It has a very smooth taste. Not harsh like smoking straight pipe tobacco. Kind of minty. The mugwort is in the mint family. It's astringent. It's also an antiseptic, so you could use it for things like fungal infections. In this case, it's just to kind of reflect, help open up that barrier, kind of knock you out of that holding pattern that you might find yourself in. Also invoking gratitude, celebrating the positive aspects of life. I can feel instantly my lungs open up and relax. I feel like this minty kind of essence. Not exactly the same as mint, but kind of like this fresh, kind of icy, like I can feel the coolness of the air. Now I'm keyed into the heat of the sun, the morning sun blaring onto my shoulders, and the vivid brightness outside the day after the rain. Reinvigorating the ember. Oh, by the way, where we found this set of antlers, this one has a busted off secondary tine, and the other side, that tine is still intact. We found it out in the slot canyons where a mountain lion was ambushing deer. So there was not just one, but two, even three. We found a third antler, but it still had flesh on it, and it was still kind of rancid. So we'll have to come back in a couple of years and check and see if it's still there. But I kind of think of some of those places like a mountain lion ambush kind of kill site where the mountain lion strategically using territory, the lay of the land to ambush deer when they come down to drink or to eat the cool green grass in the summer in the bottom of the canyons there. Kind of a sacred spot. Also a little bit unnerving when you spend a couple days there and Your buddy shines the light out the tent, and there's eye shine, two green eyes shining right back at you, and he scuttles back under the tarp and says, "Yeah, enough of that. I'm staying under the tarp." There's lots of mugwort there, and yarrow. That's another thing. If you're feeling the urge to get out and explore, you gotta do it. You gotta get out there. You gotta visit some old spots too. When we went and found this antler, it was during the rainstorm. Of course, we like camping out in the kind of desert areas of California. We like doing that in the winter. It's cooler, there's more water. But we also spend a lot of time kind of in our camp because it's raining. But nevertheless, we get out there and explore, build friendships and bonds, practice our skills, stay up on it, test our boundaries. Build a pipe or a knife, even a sword. Something to kind of remember the trip by. But anyway, just thought I'd kind of share those thoughts with you. There's some other things out there besides with the typical, tobacco and marijuana and, different things you can puff on that are actually probably more supportive and good for you than those other options. Not to rule out the other options. You can make yourself a little mixture of knick-knack, kind of mix it to the right proportions. Start off easy, which means don't be gluttonous and overdo it. Start small, enjoy a little taste, see if you like it, see how it affects your body. I think I'm going to do a mouthpiece right here. Put a little antler tine, drill a hole through it and set it so it fits nice and flush and custom. I'll probably do some burn work on this. Might do a little bead setup. I have some really nice bloodstone, hematite. I have a couple different beads and might do a bead wrap around it for little ways and kind of decorate it a little bit, or I just might keep it real simple. I might keep it pretty simple actually. It might be better to build a little container to hold it. But I'll show you the next project I work on. But this is just kind of a quick little antler setup. The other thing, this is a miracle. We take things like this for granted nowadays. Instant fire. Even though we bring things like a magnifying glass, friction fire sets, ferrocerium rod, we'll bring sometimes a flint and steel set with like char cloth, blast match, a Redger roll. We have all these different ways that we like to make fire, right? Chemical reactions. Nick's into more the, scientific way. He'll mix like different chemicals to create a fire, and then he has different uses for each chemical. When it all boils down to it, and you really need a fire, this is your friend. So, if you want to help support the channel a little bit, you can always click on a hyperlink. I'm going to put it down there in kind of the description. It'll take you to Amazon. You can get a 10-pack for like whatever it is right now, $11. And have some of these, because you never know. What if the world kind of keeps going the way it's going? Once these run out of fuel, they're not really as useful. So get a little packet of them, And then they're a buck a piece too, so you're not paying like $3 or $4 at the liquor store. You're paying just $1.10 each. So thought I'd mention that too. A little self-promotion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Wild Riley out.